Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking through a couple player props I like on Prizepicks for the Week 4 London game between the Jaguars and the Falcons. We do have a game in London on Sunday, and it does start early. It starts at 9:30 a.m., so this is kind of like an island game. So I did want to make a video specifically for this game because I know a lot of you guys are probably going to be up early watching this game. Maybe you want some props to play. I got two picks, guys, that I'm going to give out in this video that I do like from this game on Sunday morning. So we're going to talk through these two plays. We're going to share why I like them. As always, though, guys, before we do get started breaking down the plays, if you guys enjoy these Prizepicks videos, if they do help you out, make sure you hit that like button down below. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to Prizepicks, if you have never signed up for Prizepicks before, you can sign up and use my promo code Noah. When you do sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code, you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. So be sure to check them out if you guys have not yet. Also, I do want to give a quick shout out to Sleeper because we are now partnered up with Sleeper. You guys can also sign up for Sleeper. Use promo code Noah over there. Get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you sign up for Sleeper with my promo code. And if you've never heard of Sleeper, they're kind of similar to Prizepicks and a lot of these other pick'em sites, these DFS apps. But on Sleeper, it is a dynamic payout system. So the payouts will change based on whether you take the over or the under on a certain prop. But that does allow Sleeper to not really cap their payouts. So on Sleeper, you can win up to 100x your money, whereas on other sites like Prizepicks, Underdog, there's obviously a cap. You can only win like 25x. So on Sleeper, you can really go for those high payouts. If you're one of those people that likes to chase those high payouts, I definitely recommend giving Sleeper a try. Sleeper does run a lot of promos all the time. They're always doing free squares and discounts and stuff. So you guys definitely want to be playing over there. If you're not signed up for Sleeper yet, get signed up, download their app, use that promo code Noah when you sign up, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. But yeah, guys, let's talk through this game, this week 4 London game. We're gonna have a couple of these, I think, for the season, and I'm gonna try and make videos for all these London games whenever we do have them. Just because I know, since the game does start before all the other games on Sunday, I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to be watching this game, and I do want to give some plays out if I can find some plays I like. Now, at the time I'm making this video on Friday, we still don't have fantasy score props up yet for this game or for the Sunday slate, and those are the categories I really like to look at as fantasy score. But I still did find two props I like, so let's talk through the plays I do like for this game, guys. We're going to start off in the rush attempts category. We're going to take a look at Bijan Robinson, 14.5 rush attempts, and actually like the under here, so less than 14.5 rush attempts for Bijan. Now, if we take a look at their first 3 games so far this season for Atlanta, Week 1 against Carolina, Bijan had 10 rush attempts. Week 2 against Green Bay, he got up to 19 rush attempts, and then last week against Detroit, 10 rush attempts. Now, this Falcons team, they are a run-first team. They will run the ball as long as game script allows them to. But when they do get behind, you will see them obviously forced to drop back. That was kind of the case last week against Detroit. They were playing from behind, so Desmond Ridder had to throw the ball more, which led to less rush attempts for Bijan. The game against Green Bay was kind of like a neutral game script. I think Atlanta was actually playing from ahead in that game, if I remember correctly, and then I think Green Bay came back, but then Atlanta wound up winning. But Atlanta, I think that was kind of like a neutral game script, and then Bijan had 19 rush attempts in that game. And then the game against Carolina, I think that was a game where they were playing with the lead, but they didn't really give Bijan a ton of carries in that game, only 10 carries. Whereas if you look, Tyler Algier, the backup running back, he got 15 carries that Week 1 game against Carolina. He got 16 carries Week 2 against Green Bay. Last week, Algier only got 7 carries. But I think that was largely due to game script. I think that was because Atlanta was playing from behind. And when Atlanta is playing from behind, it's going to be Bijan out there more than Algier just because Bijan is a much better pass catcher. So when they're playing from behind, they will use Bijan a lot in the passing game. But even when it's like a neutral game script, or even when Atlanta's playing with the lead, they're going to involve multiple running backs. It's going to be a split between Bijan and Algier in terms of carries. And actually, the first week of the season, Algier actually out-carried Bijan. Now, in Week 2, it was obviously different, but they both saw a ton of opportunities. That was a game where Atlanta was just running the ball a ton. You saw 19 carries for Bijan and 16 for Algier. I think most weeks you're going to see probably like 12 to 14 carries for Bijan, and then maybe 9 to 10 for Algier. And obviously those numbers could fluctuate depending on how the game script is. This is a game where they're playing against Jacksonville as 3-point dogs. So I think this kind of sets up as a neutral game script, if not kind of like a slightly, down game script for the Falcons, where they might be playing from behind here. And if they're playing from behind, obviously Bijan's going to be out there, but he's going to be out there catching passes, not getting a ton of carries. And if they're playing with the lead, you're going to see both these guys getting carries. It's not just going to be all Bijan. So 14.5 rush attempts does feel kind of high for Bijan. Like, I think in order for him to go over this line, I think you're just going to have to see Atlanta get out to a big lead to where they're just running the ball a ton. Because even if they are, even if it's like a neutral game script, or even if they're playing from behind, I mean, they're just going to involve multiple running backs. They're going to use Bijan in the passing game, but not a ton in the running game if they're playing, from behind. If Atlanta gets out to a big early lead, then we might be in trouble, because at that point Atlanta's just going to run the ball, but they're still going to involve multiple running backs. Even if they are playing with a big lead, it's not just going to be Bijan out there getting all the carries. They're going to give Tyler Algier a good amount of opportunity as well. So given how they use multiple running backs, even though Bijan's snaps have gone up the last few weeks, I think that's kind of been due to game script. I think that's kind of just been due to Atlanta playing from behind. I still expect them to involve Tyler Algier a good amount, and 14.5 rush attempts is kind of a high line for Bijan. I know he went over this week 2, but he went under this weeks 1 and 3, and I think most weeks he probably goes under this line unless Atlanta is just playing with a really big lead and they're able to run the ball a ton, which in this type of game against Jacksonville, a good team, I don't think that's going to be the case. So also, I was taking a look at DK Sportsbook, taking a look at their odds, and they do have Bijan favored minus 130 to go under 14.5 rush attempts. So that's the first pick I do like for this game. And now the other pick that I like, we're going to look at a reception prop. Going to take a look at Calvin Ridley, 5 receptions. And I like the over here for Ridley. So if you take a look at Ridley's recent games, it's not great. He did have a great game in week 1 against the Colts, 8 receptions. Against KC, though, just had 2 receptions. And then last week against Houston, just 3 receptions. But there's a couple positives to take away from this. Even though Ridley's receptions have been down, the targets have still been there. He saw 8 targets in that game against Kansas City. He saw 7 targets last week against Houston. I mean, the guy is still seeing, like, he's averaged, I think, just over 8 targets per game through their first 3 games. So the volume has still been there. Him and Trevor Lawrence just haven't really been able to connect on these targets. But that's going to change at some point. You do expect Ridley to bring in a lot of these balls. He's a very talented receiver. He's looked great so far this season. This is also kind of a, I don't buy into narratives, but this is a revenge game for Ridley facing his former team, even though the game's, in London. But I like this spot for Ridley. I know the matchup might not be the best because he's probably going to see a lot of A.J. Terrell, really good corner. Atlanta's defense, their pass defense has been really good this season. But Ridley's a super talented receiver. The volume has been great so far this season. And once again, the Jaguars are going to be without Zay Jones. And if you take a look at the target share this season, if you take a look at the target share with and without Zay Jones, so far this season, Ridley has led the team in target share, 23% target share this season. Then you have Christian Kirk at 20.3%. You have Evan Ingram at 18.5%. You have Zay Jones at 11.5%. ETN at 11.5%. And then it goes down to Jamal Agnew at 5.3%. So if we take that Zay Jones target share out of there, who is going to be out this week, take that 11.5% target share out, that basically leaves 4 guys who are seeing all the targets for Jacksonville, and that's Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, and Travis Etienne. You don't really expect a ton of targets for Jamal Agnew. You don't really expect a ton of targets for Dearness Johnson or Tim Jones or Tank Bigsby. Like, these are not guys that Trevor Lawrence is going to really target much at all. It's going to be a lot of Ridley, a lot of Kirk, a lot of Ingram, and a lot of ETN in the passing game. So I do expect the volume to continue to be there for Ridley. And while the matchup might not be the best, 5 receptions is not a hard line for Ridley to get, especially when he's seeing 8, 9, 10 targets a game. Eventually, these targets are going to start turning into receptions. Trevor Lawrence and Ridley are eventually going to get on a connection, kind of like they saw, like they had in week 1. And in a revenge game against his former team, like you would think, Ridley probably wants to play well here. So give me the over on 5 receptions for Calvin Ridley. Just kind of banking on the volume for Ridley here, banking on the talent as well. I know he's been struggling lately, but again, the opportunity has still been there. He's still playing a ton of snaps. He's still running a ton of routes. And again, the volume's also been there. So these are the 2 props, guys, that I like for this London game. Bijan Robinson, less than 14.5 rush attempts, and Calvin Ridley, more than 5 receptions. Again, this is just one game, so don't go crazy here. It's really hard to find a ton of plays to give out when we're only talking about one game. But I will be making a video for the full Sunday slate of games. That probably will get posted either either sometime later on Friday or maybe on Saturday. We'll have to see, but be on the lookout for that. If you're going to be, looking for plays to take on the full Sunday slate, I'll have a separate video that I'll post either later today or sometime on Saturday, giving out plays I like for the Sunday slate. But I did want to make a video specifically for this London game on Sunday morning, since I know a lot of you guys are probably going to be watching this game and you might want some plays to tail. But this is what I like, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you hit that like button down below if you enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button as well if you have not yet. And again, if you guys are new to Prizepicks, if you have never signed up for Prizepicks before, you can sign up. You can use my promo code NOAH. When you do sign up, you will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code. But good luck on Sunday, guys. Hopefully, we can cash out, hit both these plays for this London game. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks as always for watching. Peace.